The administration of former President Goodluck Jonathan had its hands full with the activities of the insurgents. The president took steps such as collaborating with neighboring countries to fight the militants. Countries like Chad had sent its officers to northeast Nigeria to curb Boko Haram. Eventually, this has led to the resuscitation of the multinational joint task force, which consists of Niger, Chad, Cameroon, and Benin.
It bleeds my heart, to see that we found ourselves where we are today. For neighboring countries to have to come to our rescue, to sort out, issues that ordinarily we are, and I believe we are more than capable of handling. After we did it elsewhere, I was in Sierra Leone, and I can tell you that what we did in Sierra Leone in 1997, 98, even the Americans, they were shocked that we could be so daring. I had the opportunity to have been, co-located with an American Special Forces team, and I know their feelings towards us as Nigerian soldiers. So when we come back home and we have this kind of a situation, then I don't know.
The multinational joint task force is still active in the northern part of the country, although its headquarters is now in Chad. Nigeria also sought for help outside of the continent and attracted aid such as the $5 million to boost the operations of the multinational task force from the United States, as well as intelligence training of the officers. With these efforts and others, the battle against Boko Haram recorded some victories, like the recapture of Dikwa in Borno State.
Along our route of advance, we met a level of resistance from the Boko Haram terrorists, but our troops were able to clear that resistance, and along the line about 20 terrorists were killed. That is at Fajari village, some few kilometers to Dikwa. We also destroyed 5 vehicles laden with explosive devices and ready to move into action. Only God knows what would happen if those vehicles enter into town. So those vehicles were destroyed. We also destroyed some motorcycles, and along the line we also captured different assorted types of weapons and ammunition.
The rescue of hundreds of civilians believed to have been held captive by the terrorist group.
The troops identify 2 Boko Haram terrorist camps in a place called Kashimberi and Warmure, all in Konduga local government area of Borno State. During the raid, a number of terrorists were killed, and we recovered a Land Rover vehicle and a tipper used by the terrorists for their nefarious activities. Similarly, we also rescued 59 civilians that were in captivity of the Boko Haram terrorists. There are 25 children, women 29, and elderly men 5 of them. We have since cleared the camps.
The administration also tried negotiations, especially for the rescue of the Chibok girls, which had gained international attention. This was not successful. There was also a downside to the approach of Nigeria, as Amnesty International accused security forces of committing grave human rights violations and acts.
I recall when the Amnesty International report was flagged, and it didn't go down well, especially with the military, with the army, because the army was accused of violation of human rights. And then I recall that, you see, they said there's no smoke without fire. For all it care, there should be an investigation. Because, again, when you have a war situation, things can't go normal. Things can't go normal. There's what you call unintended consequences of war. When there's a war, there's a whole lot of confusion. There's bound to be, people are bound sometimes to just react, on the spur of the moment, on emotions. But again, by virtue of our training in the military, you see, there's what you call rules of engagement. And of course, there is the Geneva Convention, which is expected to guide the conduct of both, the belligerents in any war situation. But when you now take this back home here, especially with what is happening, look at ISIS. You watch the way they behead people. And lately, Boko Haram pledged allegiance to ISIS. So of course, the way they are executing the war too, it's like, if you survive, God bless you. So they are ready to kill. So you won't blame the military entirely when they too, want to take advantage or are not prepared to take any chances. So, ordinarily, no one wants to, say for instance, kill somebody who is not a combatant. You've had situations where some of these insurgents, they use human beings as shield. Just deliberately, because they want to create the impression that, oh, these people are just killing children or killing women, whereas they are the ones, really perpetrating, that. And then look at what we are even having now. A lot of the bombers are children. Not only children, they are females. These are the vulnerable sets in the society. So you want to protect the female, you want to protect the child. But now you are not even sure that little child, that teenager you are seeing, is a saint. That could be the devil. See, some of them, they veil up. So my take is that we must crave the indulgence of the international community, to just bear with us, because the situation in which we are operating right now, it's not in any way a normal situation.
The accusation from Amnesty International had also kicked in the implementation of the Leahy Law by the United States, which prohibits the U.S. Department of State and the Department of Defense from providing military assistance to foreign military units that violate human rights with impunity. Fortunately, this law has been relaxed after Nigeria's current president visited the United States.